Alright, for the last few months, I've been tracking updates about Comet 3i Atlas, as has everybody else, unless you've been living under a vacuum, in a vacuum, whatever you've been doing. I've got three things to raise, 3 points. Number one, I've looked at the publications on the comet and have analysed the data about the luminosity and colour of Comet 3i Atlas. Number two, I've noticed that music in the form of urban and contemporary rap music genres can be extracted from the dataset I was looking at. Number three, I started to write this music down using modern studio software, and well, here we are. Okay, continuing on to the numerology that we got, because I just want, the purpose of these talks, that playlist, 3i Atlas music, because it's about describing the moment I've had with 3i Atlas. We've all been on the same planet, we've all had different experiences during this moment. But first of all, if numerology upsets you, you're in the wrong crowd, excuse yourself, cough once, and leave. Thank you. So let's go back to the subject at hand today. Let me start off by playing the tune. It's a 4441. Let's get into it. Right. So now, in my previous talk, I believe it was about the April 30th, 2025 experience, where it was more like a Havana syndrome or some kind of interdimensional thought, I guess. So everything that happens in your head is thought. Yeah, on a side note, I just wanted to add that, before I said to you that when you see flora and fauna being disturbed and being at dis-ease, I don't know if that makes sense grammatically, but when you see fauna and flora in distress, your fauna, so sooner or later you're going to be in distress. Also, as an addition to that, when you see electric components, devices, artifacts in distress, how can an electronic device be in distress? Well, you know what the signs of distress are for electronic devices. If you're operating a light and you start to see it dimming, or operating at half power, it's in distress. That is not in this normal state. So that you know when electric devices are in distress. So when you see electronic devices acting like they're not in their normal state, then your mind, consider that your biochemical electric generation, so you've also got electricity making up your thoughts, and you will soon be in distress if it's an unnatural way that is distressing the electrical devices that you have. So the other day I saw my light in my room, it was getting I put it on and it wasn't really at normal brightness. It was kind of brightening halfway and I changed it, but I don't know. So don't know what's happening. Anyway, my experience after 30th of April 2025, the next experience was on the 13th of June 2025. 13th of June, if you look it up in the calendar now, it was Friday, if you like. Friday, like the Friday just gone, the February that just done. So Friday the 13th, I should have known. I should have done these talks earlier, maybe I would have figured it out by now, but I never did, so but better late than never, hey? Yeah, so 13th of June, what happened? Well, 13th of June, that's when I sprained my ankle. Like I was jumping over a fence to the other side and I landed wrong and I sprained my ankle up. I know, what you doing that at your age? I'm like, shut up, man. I don't understand them ones. I don't know how to act my age because I've never been this far, so this is the first time experience learning on the job. So, anyway, I sprained my ankle and I was in the middle of meditation and I noticed something now, after I finished my meditation, because my meditation is really hard, like I know I've got a speech impediment that comes from me meditating. I just done it then. I don't know what's happening now. But yeah, so I really go in when I meditate. You might have seen me putting 100 kilograms on a bar and curling it multiple times, yeah. So I'm intense in everything I do. And when I took to spirituality, I'm not really gonna be mourning and grinning teeth and singing like an idiot. I become very, very masculine with that shit there. And you can, masculinity doesn't mean that you have to walk around showing it all the time. That's bad gameplay. You've got to leave some to the imagination. Like, I'm not saying you're a girl and you're wearing a long dress and then one, but in terms of how your skill set is, they shouldn't see it until it's time to see it. So you mustn't look like you can do it. That's also a ploy that I'm human. So I got distracted so far, but luckily for me I wrote it down so I can read it up on the screen. 13th of June, yes, I sprained my ankle up, and that's when I wrote that song Easy, because like I was amazed. It broke up, yeah, and then after my meditation, it was halfway through my meditation that I had to do that little trip to the side, and then I finished the meditation, and then I looked down and there was blood all over the place. I never knew that I had that much damage to my toe and shit. I ripped every mouth, all that shit up, but I just carried on you know, with my day, and you know, got my cigarette to smoke and had to extend the meditation. But then the pain started to become irrelevant. I mean, it was there and it's the truth, but it started to become anecdotal, if you like, and it just healed. Like, it just got back together. I didn't even need a plaster for that shit there, and I was walking straight within 2 or 3 hours. So anyway, so after April the 30th, when the electric in my head started to experience an interdimensional force, yeah, that was something that was a bit of an episode, yeah. By then they hadn't discovered Three-Eyed Atlas, but it was still in the solar system. If you backtrack, you see that it was still around. It had even passed Jupiter and we hadn't seen it yet, but it was on its way to Earth, like. So that's what happened on the 13th. And then when you look at it globally, you will find that basically ignore that one. I was doing some other plan. So I looked up the word interdimensional to see how it was trending over the past year. Then I noticed that in July, that shit was there trending real hard. It was like July the 13th to 20th, yeah. And then there was another blip. I don't ignore that one. That was from the first. From the 1st to the 15th of February, yeah. So remember that, yeah. And we'll take a deeper look later on, yeah. In fact, let's take a deeper look now. Why not? So if we look at the one that's for July, let me see if I can set something up for myself and see. If we look at the one that's for July 2025 and see what date that was, yeah. July, let's say July 1st to end date. Hold on. End date will be July 31st, yeah. And let's see how that was trending. It should just be the one. There it is, yeah. So July the 28th is when it came about, yeah. The one that you guys sensed in July. I don't have it on my records here. This one wasn't a real hit. This is what happened to me in June, and then July that happened to the rest of the world, so they had to go online and search. But that was July that I don't have on my record. I think the closest date to that is the 20 crap. Do I have it? Shit, 28th of July. I do have it on my record chart. There it is, number 10. I didn't see that. I would have messed you up some if I had it. But anyway, that's another record that I got. Yeah. July. What's it called? What should I call it? July. We said trend search. Trend search of intermediate, right? No, interdimensional, yeah. That's not a spell dimension. Interdimensional. Yeah. Yeah, interdimension. Yeah. And that was July 28th, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah, so I'm gonna mark that. That's another hit that I got. I never even realized that I had. So let me see if I can color it different so I can remember that time. Yeah, so 20th of July, people in the world started picking it up. Now remember, my ankle got sprained on the 13th of June. So and I remember thinking that was a funny thing because I'm used to jumping over that shit, but as I was falling down, my foot somehow twisted itself to land in an awkward position. I was like, that's not normal. That's not fucking normal. Yeah. So I'm glad that's a hit and I done it live. I was just checking it anyway. Yeah. So that's when the rest of the world got hit by that interdimensional. That happened during the moment when we experienced the interstellar object 3i Atlas. Yeah. So if we go back and we look at the next time, look at the past year again. Right, this was around February the 1st, February the 15th. Yeah. Let me see what date that one hit. Start date, February 1st, end date, and this was this year. This was actually a couple of days back. So I'm coming up to date, yeah, with my predictions. This is just a couple of days in. That's the one we're looking at, the small one at the end. And the most protagonist date was the 4th of February. Let's see if that's picked up on my chart. I know that was picked up because I looked at that one, but I forgot to look at the other one to see if it was. Yeah. So let's look at. It should be lit up. Hold on. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. There it is. Yeah. With my sprained ankle and that. Yeah. Got the wrong color on the other one. Right. So that day did come up, 4th of February as well. Yeah, I didn't know that one. I could have used it, but I can use it now. I can show you how I do this. Yeah. So, so the next time from when you experienced it, for you was gonna be the 4th of February, but that's just gone. And sure enough, people on that day started looking up interdimensional. So they must have been hit by something. Something must have triggered up that kind of thought from them. Yeah, because it registered as a trend signal on that day for the word interdimensional. Yeah, so that's some of the things that made me make this one, this bit here. Yeah, so back to the numerology aspect of it. Let me think. So if you look at the date, yeah, it's the 13th of June 2025. If you add the 13 and you add the 6, that's 19. And if you add the 2, 0, 2 and 5 together, you get 28. And 28, yeah, the 20th Fibonacci, if you look on the slide at the end, yeah, 20th Fibonacci is 317,811, and the 28th prime is 107. So if we take the 28th Fibonacci and add the numbers together, individual digits, we get 21. And if we take the 20th prime, which is 107, and add those together, we get 8. But if you look at that 21 we just got from the Fibonacci, and you add the 2 and 1, you get a 3. Yeah, 21 plus the 8 that we got from just adding them the first time we got, that gives you 29. Yeah, and if you take 28, yeah, the 28th Fibonacci, 28th prime, 28 is 2 plus 8, that is 10. 2910 was the date of perihelion. Yeah, and on this chart for that date, we've got the date of perihelion here. I'm sure of it. I just looked at it. Yeah, here we are, 29. It also predicted the date of perihelion. So what am I getting at here? On that day, after spraining my ankle, this is what I'm telling you. I'm not one of them ones that gets spooked out and starts thinking that it's not something I can cope with in this life. on that day, just imagine doing my meditation. I go up, I see a fence, and I run up to it and I jump, and I form, and my ankle gets sprained up. Yeah. What I did is think, hold on a minute. Yeah. That shit looks strange. I've been doing that jump all through my life. It's never been a problem to me. So I thought to myself, how do you identify the interdimensional? So I waited. Via Atlas, I waited. So what I do is try to see a link, try to see if there's going to be a future event that's like that. If this is a one-off, or if, say that accidents come in free, so you try to look for when the next ones will turn up. So after the 13th, I put it in this format, yeah. And once I got the perihelion date, I still couldn't start. I still didn't know how to do it. Then I got a rapture video talking about how you must solve the mystery of the fall, and that intrigued me. I raised the eyebrow to that, just a simple eyebrow, So then I thought nothing of it. Then in November I got a fall written on this finger here, yeah, which is the fourth finger from this thumb, if you count the thumb as the first one, yeah. So that's when I thought, okay, I've got to figure out the mystery of the fall. It was 4.44 is where that video stopped, yeah, in its tracks. So that was just another huge clue, if you like. So 444. So multiples of 444 is what we're looking at here. So back to the 13th of June 2025. So I've got 2910. That was the date of the perihelion for the interstellar object 3i Atlas, yeah. And that's on the 31st multiple 4.44, yeah. If you start from the 13th of June 2025, yeah, that's something I noticed. Now, there's two dates that we looked at, yeah. We looked at the July the 28th, and we covered that in the chart. And this one was February 4th. Now, February the 4th, if you look at these numbers we got from above, which are 28, 10, and so forth. If you take 21, I showed you how to get 21, and the 3, and how to get that, and the 29. If you add these together, you get 53. And the 53rd multiple, 4.44 days added to the 13th of June 2025. The 53rd multiple, these are the numbers here, 31, 32, 33, and so forth. You go down to 53. That is the 4th of February 2026, just gone. Yeah. It's even got that. So from the day when I experienced my ankle sprain, if I knew the appropriate math, I could have been able to predict when 3i Atlas would reach perihelion and when the world would experience what I just experienced then. But I didn't know how to do this. I've only just really figured it out now. So I could have been able to predict when they will experience it again, and myself as well. So I'm looking at, well, it's already gone. 4th of February is already gone. We're now on the 17th. So whatever happened. This one doesn't predict when my blunder happened, but I don't know. That was more of a physical calamity than a brain-based one, more like the rest of the body calamity than a brain calamity. Don't know if I'm using the word right, but yeah, we try. So that's what I wanted to add. Yeah, when I get accidents and things that are not right, I don't just really start going off in a direction that doesn't make sense. I start to rationalize that and look for patterns in them instead. And most of the time, this is the first time I like 444. I do other recurring number series. I showed you one the other time. When I done the 666, it really messed me up, man. And I don't know, when I done that 666, it was I can't remember when I done it, but that was some crazy shit. Yeah, I think it was oh Lord, Oh lordy lord. Yeah, I can't remember it anyway, but yeah, if I could remember the day when I done that one, I'll be able to think, was that on this chart? That's what I'm saying. I don't know. So the moment we've had with Three Eye Atlas is now about to end. It's like a tape that came in. It's like when you play, no, not darts. When you play, let's say archery at the Olympic Games, you have all the bands, the different rings, and bullseye is worth 10. Then the next one is 9. Then the next one's 8 and 5 or whatever. Yeah. So if it comes in, it starts off with the one at the farthest one, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Yeah. So it comes in at 1, it ends at 10, and then from 10 it goes 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and it goes back there. So if it came in June, I got done, then you lot got done, then you lot will get done, then I'll get done afterwards. So if it happened to you on the 4th, am I still waiting to get done? To make you think, innit? I don't know if it's a prediction yet, but it will be something personal to me. You've already gone through it twice. I've only gone through it. What? I'll say I've gone through it 2 times anyway. Anyway, don't worry about me if you are worried about me. I hope you was. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I wasn't gonna do this talk, but I've enjoyed myself. So doing these things also helps. It helps it when you air out your your worries. Yeah. Let me put the tune at the end. Yeah, enjoy it. I'll play it once. Yeah, don't worry about it. Getting used to the rhythm, because I might be playing more videos about numerology, so this is a good track to do them on. Yeah, enjoy it. I'm out.